How are we going, folks? Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin. And we've got some news to talk about. And these things always happen when I'm at work or on my way to work. I would have done a video on this last night. But, yeah, night shifts, day sleeping, that sort of stuff. But, yeah, why does it always happen when I'm at work? Because, well, I'm always at work, basically. I wanted to dust the settle a little bit anyway so I could think about it and kind of react to it. I was hoping a bit more would come out in the meantime as well, but it doesn't look like it has. So, let's get into it. Rob Dukes is back in Exodus. I did a video a while ago saying Rob Dukes is back. And he'd done a gig in a club with a band and basically did an Exodus set with just songs from his era of Exodus. And I thought, oh, this might be a cool thing that might have legs. But nothing. It did say at the time, actually, a one-off. But, you know. Yeah, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you know I've always been a Rob Dukes fan. I was screaming from the rooftops that Kerry King should have hired him for his solo band. He obviously didn't get the memo, but, you know. But, yeah, I think, you know, I was initially... I was sad to see Rob go. I respect Steve Zetro, you know, for what he'd done in Exodus at the time. And, you know, him writing lyrics for the first Testament album. And, you know, the guy's legacy, pun intended. Yeah, nothing but respect for the guy. But I liked Rob. And I thought Rob was suited for Exodus, the era of Exodus that he was in. So I was sad to see him go. But I made... This is the thing. Rob's back now, but I've kind of made peace with Steve. I like, you know, I've really had a lot more respect for him since he's been doing this podcast YouTube channel thing. I mean, and you know, I've listened to his horror reviews, his music reviews, his stories, and you know, he's really infectious and likable. And yeah, I've respected him even more, and yeah, I'm got fine with him being back in the band, and the two albums he's done since he come back in the band have been good. And you know, hats off to Steve, because Rob and Exodus were on bad terms for a while. There was that famous incident, you know, when he was on some podcast, he was doing Generation Kill, but then he did that new project, didn't he? When they were collaborating with the guy from Run DMC. I forget which one, but it ended up becoming a whole album, and therefore became a new project. And he was promoting that, and they said like such and such Exodus, and he went like something along F those douchebags. So things weren't on good terms. And then they did the anniversary concert, and Rob came out, and it was Steve that orchestrated that. It was him that made the phone call. He was like, look, you know, this needs to, in Steve's own words, life's too short for that shit. And good on him for that. And then he got Rob on his podcast. They did like a 3-hour talk, and it was great. And it kind of closed, for me, that kind of, you know, that put the whole thing to bed, and it kind of closed that chapter. And now it's gone completely the other way. So I would have liked to have seen Rob get a second chance at it, and I thought the perfect opportunity for that would be to be the singer in Kerry King's band, but wasn't to be. But now he's back in Exodus, so it's all good. He's getting another crack of the whip, so to speak. So let's read the statement and go from there, really. So, yeah, I'm just looking on Blabbermouth here. Well, I'll get into that afterwards. So, yeah, Exodus have parted ways with singer Steve Zetro Souza. I always avoid saying it now because I'm never sure if I pronounce it right. So let's see the statement. Announcement. Exodus have parted ways with Steve Zetro Souza. We thank Steve for his years fronting the band and all the killer music we made during that time. We wish him only the best of the future and much success with anything he does. Please help us welcome back Rob Dukes to Exodus. We are beyond stoked to have Rob back ripping up the stage with us. and he's looking forward to crushing everyone the only way he can. Next chapter begins. New record rolls along as planned with the beatings will continue. See you soon, Exodus. Now, I remember seeing something. I think they're going to be recording an album this year. I remember it being when they planned to record, it was like, God, that seems like a long way off. But here's a few things then. In that podcast that Rob did with Steve, Rob sort of said he'd come, he said I was, in hindsight, he was sort of coming to the end of his tenure with the band anyway, because he wasn't happy with some of the new material. Therefore, I ask Rob, what does he think of the 2 albums that have been done since? And is he going to be happy with this new material? I'm not sure what he thought was wrong with the new material, because I think Blood In, Blood Out and Persona Non Grata have been consistent follow-ups for Atrocity Exhibition. A lot of people are saying, that the long songs are get a bit tedious. I would agree. I think Exhibition B could have been shorter, but it calls into question where the band are going to go musically, and I don't know. I'm sensing something a bit more is going on under the surface, because Steve's been quite quiet, and one thing Zetro isn't is quiet. Why hasn't he put out a statement? Why hasn't he done a video going, hey, I just want to say everything is great. I want to kill all the rumours, and everything's great. I would have expected a video by now sort of explaining what's gone on. So it makes me wonder. And with Steve extending the olive branch to Rob, I hope Rob has been in contact and gone, look, are you okay if I do this? Who knows? So I'm glad to see Rob's back, but it's kind of, I'd accepted that he was gone now, and I was thinking, so now he's back. I've got what I wanted, but it's a couple of years too late, and it's like I don't really want it anymore, but I've got it, so I'm happy. I don't know, mixed reaction. Either way, I know I always say it, but I think this has kicked it into gear now. An Exodus retrospective is coming. A new album is on the way, is imminent, and I think right. There's a retrospective coming this weekend. If you can, here you go. That's your hint. You have to zoom in and see who it is. I'm making some notes. I'm putting a history together. It just depends when I get a chance, but that is happening this weekend. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to do Exodus in 2 parts. So I'm going to do the first initial run. So we'll do the first Bonded by Blood up till Force of Habit. That'll be part 1. And then we'll do Tempo of the Damned up until Persona Non Grata. And so I think I'll do a 2-parter. But like I say, I mean, look, I think everyone's album of any band is the one they buy. That's the new album at the time. Either it's just come out at the time, or they've got into the band, and then the next new album. So when you're there for the new album, that's your album of that band. And my Exodus album is Shovel-Headed Kill Machine. I was getting all going back and retrospectively buying all the Thrash records, and obviously Bonded by Blood is a classic and everything. And then Shovel-Headed Kill Machine come out, and the contrast between Bonded by Blood and Fabulous Disaster and this, it was just like, yeah, not saying this is their best album in any way. I'm just saying this is my Exodus album. So, yeah, I've always had a soft spot for Rob. And, yeah, we'll see what happens. So, yeah, stay tuned for the Exodus retrospective. I'm not going to say I'm going to do it next, but it is going to be coming this year in 2 parts. I'm going to do it. It's on the list. So, yeah, let's see what happens. All right, I'll catch you later. Thanks.